What if I told you that Lord of the Mysteries is way different than your generic copy-paste isekai series? So what exactly makes it stand out? Well, if you're curious, you're in the right place. As the title suggests, this video will cover everything you need to know about LOTM. However, before all, one question must be answered. What even is Lord of the Mysteries? Lord of the Mysteries is a mystery fantasy web novel with Western elements, written by Cuttlefish That Loves Diving and published on Kidion in 2018. It is a relatively long series with 2,611 chapters, surpassing the word count of numerous renowned series such as Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, and A Song of Ice and Fire. For those of you seeking an incredible amount of world building, multi-layered characters with compelling development and dynamics, and an ever-expanding lore as you progress through the chapters, Lord of the Mysteries is a perfect read. It's truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience that will leave you hungry for more after every chapter. If you're unsure whether it's worth it to start such a long novel, well, I have good news for you. Due to the rising popularity of the series, there are several upcoming adaptations, each being in a different media form. So if you're not into reading web novels, try the newly released Manhua, which brings the story to life with stunning visuals. Or if you're more of an anime fan, there is a donghua, which is basically Chinese anime, dropping this summer for LOTM. If you prefer something more interactive, a video game adaptation is currently in development, letting you explore the world of Lord of the Mysteries firsthand. So whether you like to read it, watch it, or play it, there is a version just for you. Now, without a further ado, let's jump straight into the World of Mysteries. Part 1. World of Commoners. This guide is designed to introduce you to the world building of Lord of the Mysteries, with minimal spoilers. Though a few light details from Volume 1 will naturally sneak in, so consider this your spoiler warning. We experience the world through the eyes of our protagonist, Klein, who was once Zooming Grui, an ordinary man who suddenly finds himself transmigrated into a strange and unfamiliar world. Because of this, the story primarily unfolds through the locations Klein visits on his journey. Let's start with the first place he wakes up, Tingen City, located in the Lone Kingdom. Tingen is a bustling city with a population of several hundred thousand. Known as the City of Universities, it boasts the second highest number of universities in the country. The Lone Kingdom is one of the 4 major nations on the northern continent, alongside the Intis Republic, the Faesak Empire, and the Fenapatar Kingdom. All of these nations are heavily based on real-life European countries, where the capital of Intis, Trier, reminds us of Paris, and whereas Loan is England, with its capital Backlund inspired by Victorian age London. These resemblances are conveyed through a couple of different ways, ranging from the atmosphere to monetary systems, or even different types of etiquette displayed by the high class. Now, I could drown you in endless details on Lowen's money system, political structure, and cultural aspects. Trust me, there is a lot. But since this isn't a 3-hour documentary on fictional Victorian economics, let's skip ahead to the interesting parts you all want to see. To really understand how this modern world took shape, we need to talk about one man, Emperor Roselle. Living 2 centuries before Klein, Roselle is a revolutionary figure who dragged the medieval world into the industrial age. Advancing tech, education, and literature, his influence is still deeply felt in the Intis Republic. This also introduces the concept of ages, or more importantly, epochs in LOTM. Although explaining the history behind epochs would be full of spoilers, it should be mentioned that the story begins in the year 1349 of the 5th epoch, known as the Iron Age, named after Roselle's introduction of steam machinery. Roselle is known as a once-in-a-millennium genius, the son of steam. That is the legacy history remembers. But early in the story, we discover a surprising truth. Roselle, just like Klein, is actually a transmigrator from China. So how does Klein, a complete outsider, learn this truth before everyone else? Well, enter Roselle's diaries. These private writings were made public, but no one could decipher them because Roselle wrote them in Mandarin, except Klein, who could read them fluently. That's why he hunts for the diary pages, so he can gain insight from a fellow transmigrator and unlock secrets that would give him an edge. But what could be so important in one man's personal journal? Well, that would be a valid question if this was a normal world, but Lord of the Mysteries is far from ordinary. Part 2, World of Beyonders. Beyond the eyes of the common folk lies another layer of reality, filled with occultism and the supernatural. In this world, the dead don't always stay dead. Mermaids might lurk beneath the waves, and gods aren't just myths, they're dangerously real. To the general public, such tales are dismissed as folklore, but in reality, these occult forces and incomprehensible entities are all too present. So how does humanity stand its ground against such horrific beings? The answer lies with Beyonders, or more specifically, human Beyonders. These are individuals who have consumed Beyonder characteristics, gaining extraordinary abilities in return. Think of them as wizards, sorcerers, or cultivators from other series. Upon consuming a Beyonder characteristic, typically in the form of a potion, an individual begins to ascend through the sequences in the Path of Divine, often referred to as the Pathways. There are 22 pathways, each containing 9 sequences, ranging from sequence 9, the lowest, to sequence 1, the highest. These pathways are based on the 22 major arcana of the tarot. For example, the Hunter pathway aligns with the Chariot arcana, while the Sleepless pathway corresponds to the Star arcana. Each pathway offers unique abilities from offensive power to prophetic insights. As a Beyonder advances through the sequences, their existing abilities grow stronger, and they gain new ones. The closer they are to sequence 1, the more powerful and versatile they become. But advancement isn't without risk. There is a dangerous chance of losing control, going mad, or transforming into a monster, a fate worse than death. The higher one advances, the greater the risk, especially during advancement rituals. For some, the pursuit of power isn't worth the danger. But how can one safely advance without these risks? It's not just luck or intelligence. The key lies in the acting method, a secret technique that allows Beyonders to fully digest their potions and maintain stability. So how should one act as a Beyonder, and what does the acting method even mean? The answer is hidden in plain sight, within the very name of the sequences themselves. Take sequence 8, Midnight Poet of the Sleepless Pathway, for example. The title itself hints at the role. Imagine someone who roams the streets at midnight, reciting poems. That is the essence of the role that they must embody. By aligning their behavior with this identity, a Beyonder can properly digest the potion, meaning they're ready to prepare for the next ritual and safely advance. Sequence 9 and 8 are known as the low sequences, where Beyonders exceed human limits, but have not gained power strong enough to break mortal boundaries. Sequences 7 through 5 are the mid sequences, offering a major power leap with diverse abilities across many areas. Sequence 4 and above are the high sequences, where power becomes near godlike. At this stage, conventional means can't even touch them. For perspective, a low sequence Beyonder might only have enhanced physical capabilities or some ritual arts, but a high sequence one, they can bend reality itself, change abstract concepts, or erase someone from existence, like using a pencil eraser. Part 3, World of Organizations. Now that we've covered the origin of supernatural entities and powers, the next question is, how do they actually function within the world? More specifically, how is it that most people remain unaware of the mystical, all while going about their daily lives as if nothing out of the ordinary exists? The answer lies in official organizations. These are secretive groups under churches or militaries that keep the existence of Beyonders hidden. They hunt down rogue, unofficial Beyonders to prevent chaos and to protect the public from the horrors of the occult. Most official organizations are tied to a specific deity and specialize in one primary pathway along with its neighboring ones. For example, an organization that focuses on the Sleepless pathway will mainly consist of Beyonders from that pathway, along with some closely related ones like the Death pathway. But if each group only specializes in a narrow field, how do they handle the vast variety of supernatural threats? That's where sealed artifacts come in. These are dangerous and powerful remnants of Beyonders who have lost control. Think of them like SCPs, each one requires unique containment methods, have cryptic names, and are only used under strict supervision during high-risk missions. Thanks to these artifacts and specialized teams, official Beyonders are able to maintain control and eliminate rogue threats swiftly. Solo unofficial Beyonders don't stand much of a chance. Once detected, they're usually quickly captured and neutralized. However, this isn't a utopia. Some rogue Beyonders band together in secret organizations, supported by evil deities plotting to descend upon the world. Though weaker than official groups, these factions remain hidden and strike from the shadows, causing real devastation. That is why official Beyonders exist, to stop these plans before they are realized. Their duty is to be guardians, to be a bunch of miserable wretches that are constantly fighting against threats and madness. So to sum it up, welcome to the world of mysteries, where even a simple history graduate can climb the path of divine. A world where gods can lose their sanity, and where some names are better left unspoken. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. I make content for basically all of the popular web novels and light novels, so go check out my other videos.